In the previous lectures, we found out the potential for the case of a point charge, which was the monopole. Then we found out the potential for the case of two equal and opposite charges, which is called as dipole. Then we found out the potential due to four equal and opposite charges, which is called as quadrupole. And so on, we have multipoles. So this is here we have monopole, dipole, quadrupole, then we have octopole, and so on we have higher order multipoles. So in this lecture we are going to derive the general formula of potential. So first we found out the potential for the case of monopole, then for the case of dipole, then for the case of quadrupole. But in this lecture we are going to derive the general expression of multipoles. That is, if we have a charge distribution, we will have a random charge distribution, and we will find the potential due to this charge distribution at a particular point P. So this yellow portion shown over here, this is a volume charge distribution, and let's say rho is the volume charge density. Rho is the volume charge density for this particular charge distribution, and this P is the observation point at which we want to find the potential due to this distribution of charge. So this is the observation point and this is the origin of the coordinate system. So OP vector will be the position vector of this observation point, and let's say that is small r vector. So small r vector is the position vector of the observation point, and this is the random charge distribution. And in this article we will find out the potential at P point due to this distribution of charge whose volume charge density is given by rho. So first of all we will take a small volume element in this charge distribution. So we will take a small volume element. First of all we will find the potential due to that small volume element at P point, and then we will do its integration. So that will give us the total potential at the observation point. So here I have supposed a small volume element. So I have drawn a small volume element, and the position vector of this small volume element, let's say that is given by capital R vector. So capital R vector is the position vector of this small volume element which we have taken. So this vector, let's suppose this is capital R vector, which is the position vector of this small volume element, and small r vector is the position vector of the observation point. So what will be this vector? Let's say this point is capital M. This particular point is represented by capital M point. So OM vector is equal to capital R vector. OP vector is equal to small r vector. So what will be MP vector? MP vector will be given by the triangle law of vector addition. So MP vector will be equal to capital R vector minus small r vector. So this will be the vector which is pointing from the volume element towards the observation point. So this particular vector will be given by capital R vector minus small r vector. So first of all we are going to find what is the potential due to this small volume element. Now this whole system is charged. So this is a charge distribution. So this volume element will also carry some amount of charge. So let's say the volume of this small element is equal to dV. Now dV is the small volume of this volume element which we have considered. So what will be the charge in this small volume element? Now rho is the volume charge density. This gives us the charge present in unit volume. So the charge present in dV amount of volume, that will be nothing but equal to rho into dV. So this is the charge which is carried by this small volume element, that is it is equal to rho times dV. First of all we are going to find potential due to this small volume element due to the charge present in this small volume element at P point. So first of all we are going to find potential due to the charge present in this small volume element at this P point, and then we will integrate over the whole volume of the charge distribution. So that will give us the total potential at P point. So first of all, we are going to find d phi. Now what is d phi? It is the potential due to this small volume element at P point. R vector, it is the position vector of observation point that we have already seen. Capital R vector is the position vector of dV volume. So this dV volume, it has position vector which is given by capital R vector. Now rho times dV is the charge present on the small volume element. So charge which is carried by this dV amount of volume is given by rho times dV. So what is the potential due to this charge present on this small volume element at P point? So that potential is nothing but equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into charge. Now what is the charge carried by this small volume element? That is nothing but equal to rho times dV. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into rho times dV divided by the distance of the observation point from this particular charge. So the distance of the observation point from this volume element is given by capital R vector minus small r vector. So that is the magnitude of this vector will give us the distance of the observation point from this volume element. So here we will have rho dV divided by the distance of the observation point from this volume element. So that will be just given by the magnitude of R vector minus small r vector. Because R vector minus small r vector, this whole will give us a vector quantity, but in the formula of potential, in the denominator, we always have a distance. We never have a vector, but we have a distance, and distance is given by the magnitude of this vector quantity. So in the denominator, we will have mod of, that is the magnitude of R vector minus small r vector. So this is the potential at P point due to the charge present on this small volume element. Now to find the total potential at P point. So the total potential at P point due to this whole charge distribution, that will be nothing but integration of this potential, that is the total potential, let's say that is given by phi. So that will be equal to integration of d phi, and in turn this will be equal to integration of this right hand side. So that will be nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. It can be taken outside the integration. So we will have integration of this quantity. So rho times dV divided by R vector minus small r vector, its magnitude, and we will have integration. But keep in mind, here we have volume integration, here we have dV. So we have a volume element, so integration will be over the whole volume, and hence we will have 3 integrals. So this is the net potential. This formula gives us the net potential at P point due to this whole charge distribution. Now we are going to further solve this expression of potential. So to solve this formula further, first of all we have to see what is R vector minus small r vector equal to. So first we have to simplify this R vector minus small r vector. So we want to find R vector minus small r vector. So first of all we will do the dot product of R vector minus small r vector with itself. So let's say if you have a vector A vector, that is A vector, and you do its dot product with itself, that is if you find A vector dot product with A vector, so that will be nothing but equal to, now dot product is equal to magnitude of first vector into magnitude of second vector into cos of angle between the two vectors. So over here the angle between these two vectors will be equal to 0 because these are the same vectors. So this A vector dot product with A vector, that will be nothing but equal to magnitude of A vector square, that is it will be equal to A square. So here also we are going to evaluate the same expression of R vector minus small r vector and its dot product with itself. So this quantity, it will be equal to, so on solving this dot product, so you will get R vector dot product with R vector, that will be equal to R square. Then you will have minus of R vector dot product with minus of small r vector, that will be plus small r square. And then you will have minus twice of R vector dot product with small r vector. So this is the one way to find out. And another way, we have already seen that doing the dot product of a vector with itself is equal to that square of that vector. So here also we will have r vector minus small r vector dot product with itself, that will give us the magnitude of r vector minus small r vector and its square. So this expression is equal to this one, as well as this expression is equal to this one. So this r vector dot product with small r vector, here we have capital R and here we have small r vector. So this is the capital R vector and this is the small r vector. Let's say the angle between these two vectors is given by theta. So this expression will be equal to r square plus small r square minus twice of r into small r into cos of angle between these two vectors, and that we have already supposed it is equal to theta. So now we are going to further simplify this expression. So r vector minus small r vector magnitude square, that will be nothing but equal to r square plus small r square minus 2r into small r into cos of theta. And then we will take square root on both hand sides. So r vector minus small r vector magnitude, that will be nothing but equal to r square plus small r square minus 2 into r into small r cos theta power 1 by 2. So we have just done square root on both hand sides. Now we are doing the reciprocal. Now why we are doing the reciprocal? Because over here we have 1 divided by r vector minus small r vector. So therefore we will do the so we will do its inverse. So we will have 1 by r vector minus small r vector. On the right hand side also we will get 1 divided by this whole expression. So that will be nothing but equal to, the power will become negative. So that will be r square plus small r square minus 2 into r into small r cos theta. Power will become negative, that is it will become minus 1 by 2. Now we have just done inverse, taken the inverse on both hand sides. So power on the right hand side will become minus 1 by 2. Now we are going to take capital R square common. So first of all we are going to take capital R square common. Now over here when you will take capital R square common, now power, now this whole square bracket has a power of minus 1 by 2. So when you will take capital R square outside this square bracket, this minus 1 by 2 power will also come along with r square. So capital R square, when it is taken common, you will get capital R square power minus 1 by 2 outside this square bracket. So that will be nothing but equal to capital R square power minus 1 by 2. It will be present outside the bracket. So that is nothing but equal to r power minus 1. That is nothing but equal to 1 divided by capital R. So when you are taking capital R square outside this square bracket, you have to take into account this power also. So you will get outside the bracket, you will get just 1 divided by capital R. And inside the bracket, you have taken r square common. So here in the first term you will get 1. In the next term you will get small r square divided by capital R square. And in this last term you already have capital R and you are taking capital R square common. So you will get minus 2 into small r into cos of theta divided by capital R. So 1 capital R, it will cancel with 1 capital R in the denominator. So you will just get 1 capital R in the denominator, and power minus 1 by 2, it will remain as it is. Now in this expression we are going to use the binomial theorem. So we will expand this particular term. Here we have 1 plus this whole term power minus 1 by 2. So this is similar to 1 plus x power n, and that is nothing but 1 plus nx plus n into n minus 1 divided by 2 factorial into x square, and so on. We have higher order terms. So here also we have 1 plus x. Now x is nothing but r square by capital R square minus 2r cos theta divided by capital R. So this whole term is nothing but equal to x. and n over here is equal to minus 1 by 2. This n over here is equal to minus 1 by 2. Now the next step will be, we have to simplify this right hand side using the binomial expansion. So you will get, so we got 1 divided by magnitude of capital R vector minus small r vector. It came out to be equal to this expression. That was our last step. So now we are going to use binomial expansion over here. So x will be equal to this whole term and n will be equal to minus 1 by 2. So now we are going to use this general formula of binomial expansion and we are going to simplify this right hand side. So you will get 1 divided by capital R vector minus small r vector. It will be equal to 1 divided by capital R. It will remain as it is, and over here we are going to use the binomial expansion of 1 plus x power n. So first term over here, on expanding this term we get 1. The first term will be equal to 1. So 1 by capital R, it has remained as it is, and inside the bracket using the binomial expansion you will get 1. So this 1, it will come as it is. Then the next term is plus n into x. Now over here n is equal to minus 1 by 2. So instead of n you will get minus 1 by 2, and instead of x you will write this whole term, which is r square by capital R square minus 2 into r cos theta divided by capital R. So this whole is the second term, which is equal to nx. Then the next term in the binomial expansion is n into n minus 1 divided by 2 factorial into x square. So over here the third term, in this third term you will get, instead of n you will write minus 1 by 2, and instead of n minus 1 you will get minus 1 by 2 minus 1. That will be nothing but equal to minus 3 by 2. Divide by 2 factorial will remain as it is, and along with that we have x square. So x is nothing but this whole term. So now we are going to do square of x. So x is r square by capital R square minus 2 into r cos of theta divided by capital R, and so on. You will get higher order terms. So here we are not going to neglect the higher order terms as we did in the previous case of dipole and quadrupole, and the reason is that we are going to find the general expression of potential. So in finding the general expansion of the general expression of potential, we do not neglect these higher order terms. So these all higher order terms will come along with these terms, so they will not be neglected as in the previous case. So 1 by capital R will remain as it is. Then you will have, now what you will do over here is you will simplify this whole expression. So you will open these terms. So you will open the first bracket over here. So you will open this bracket as well as you will open this second bracket. First of all you will open this r square by capital R square minus 2r cos theta divided by capital R whole square. So first of all you are going to open this particular square, and then you are going to multiply that expression with this constant outside the bracket. So now you are going to simplify. You are going to open all these brackets, and on simplifying further, that is on clubbing the various terms. So that step you have to do by yourself. That is, you have to open this bracket as well as you have to open this bracket, and then the final result you will get is 1 plus small r divided by capital R cos theta. Then you will get small r square divided by 2 capital R square into 3 cos square theta minus 1, and so on. You will get higher order terms. So what you have to do is you have to club these terms. So when you will open all these brackets in this particular step, when you are going to open all these brackets, so you will get a term which will have small r divided by capital R. So from here you will get small r divided by capital R, and then you will get a term of small r square divided by capital R square. So small r square divided by capital R square will come from here also, as well as it will come from this particular term also, and then you have to club these two terms. So what you have to do is first you will open all these brackets, and then you will further club the terms which will have small r by capital R. Then you will club all the terms which will have small r square divided by capital R square. So this small r square divided by capital R square, it will come from here also, as well as it will come after opening this bracket also. So you have to club all these terms. So the final result you will get is this particular expression. So this is the final expression of 1 divided by the magnitude of capital R vector minus small r vector. So this is the final result. So now what we have done is, in this particular step I have taken capital R inside the bracket. So I have multiplied this capital R with the denominator of all these terms. So this 1 divided by magnitude of r vector minus small r vector, it will come out to be equal to, the first term will be 1 divided by capital R, second term will be small r divided by capital R square into cos theta, then the third term you will get is small r square divided by 2 capital R cube into 3 cos square theta minus 1, and you will get other higher order terms. Now this is the final result of 1 divided by capital R vector minus small r vector. Now in the first step of this article, we found that the total potential at P point, it is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught rho into dV divided by capital R vector minus small r vector, its magnitude and its volume integration. So this whole integration, it gives us the total potential at P point due to the charge distribution. So we just found out the expression of 1 divided by capital R vector minus small r vector, and that came out to be equal to this expression. Now we are going to insert this expression of 1 divided by capital R vector minus small r vector in this particular formula. So the potential at P, it came out to be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into integration of rho dV divided by capital R vector minus small r vector. So we are just going to insert this result over here. So that potential will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. This term, it will remain as it is. The integration remains as it is. Then this rho into dV, this will also remain as it is. So rho into dV, this will remain as it is, but instead of 1 divided by capital R vector minus small r vector, you have to insert all these terms which we have got after the binomial expansion. So this is the result which we are going to insert in this bracket. So you will get 1 divided by capital R plus small r divided by capital R square into cos of theta plus small r square divided by twice of capital R cube into 3 cos square theta minus 1 plus all other terms. So now we are going to divide all these terms. So here we have 1 by r, then we have this term, then we have this third term. Now we are going to separate all these terms and we are going to write integration over all these terms. So we are just going to divide all these terms. So the first term from here you will get is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into integration of rho into dV. So this rho into dV is common in all the terms. So the first term you will get is rho into dV divided by capital R. So this is the first term after simplifying this expression. The second term will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into integration of rho into dV into small r into cos theta divided by capital R square. So this is the second term that you will get after expanding. Then the third term you will get is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into integration of rho into dV into r square into 3 cos square theta minus 1 divided by twice of capital R cube. So this is the third term that you will get, and similarly you will get the higher order terms. So the net potential at P point due to a charge distribution whose volume charge density is rho, that is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 by r into integration of rho dV. Now I have just taken capital R outside the integration, because when you will see the diagram that we had drawn on the previous page, you will see that capital R vector, it is just the position vector of the observation point, and since the observation point it remains at the same position throughout the derivation, therefore this magnitude of the position vector of the observation point, it will be constant. So this can be taken outside the integral. So capital R has been taken outside the integral of the first term, then capital R square can be taken outside the integration of the second term, and similarly capital R cube can be taken outside the integral of the third term, and so on you will get the higher order terms. So the step that we had written in the previous case, so we have just, in that step we have just taken this capital R term outside. So here you will get capital R, in the next term you will get capital R square, in the third term you will get capital R cube, and so on you will get higher order terms, and this integration it will remain as it is as the previous step. So this term over here, this first term with integral, that is rho into dv and its integration, this first term is called as monopole. Now what we have done is, in this whole article we took a random charge distribution, we took an arbitrary charge distribution, and we found out the potential at a particular observation point which was at a distance of r from the origin of the coordinate system. We found out the potential at that observation point due to the whole charge distribution. So that potential, it came out to be equal to this first term plus this second term plus third term, and so on. So this first term over here, in this first term, this integral with rho into dv, this whole term is called as monopole. So when you will see what is monopole, that we have already seen that monopole is nothing but a point charge, a single charge which is kept in space, that is called as monopole. Now over here also, if you will see rho into dv, it is the, what is rho into dv? It is the charge which is carried by the small volume element, and we are doing its integration over the whole volume. So this whole integral, it will give us the total charge on the whole system. So rho into dv and its integration will give us the total charge on the whole system. So this total charge on the system is called as monopole. Now this second term over here, the rho into r into cos theta into dv and its volume integration, this whole term with integral, this is called as dipole. And over here, this rho into r square into 3 cos square theta minus 1 dv divided by 2, this whole term is called as quadrupole. And so on you will get higher order terms. So you will get octupole and other multipoles in the higher terms. So you will get monopole, dipole, quadrupole. So here we have just derived the general expansion of potential for the case of an arbitrary charge distribution, and we found out the expression of monopole. So if you want to find monopole for a particular system, you just have to do rho into dv and you have to do its volume integration. So that will give us the value of monopole. Similarly, you can find the value of dipole, then quadrupole, and higher order multiples. So this first term can be written as, this monopole is represented by K0. Similarly, dipole is represented by K1, then quadrupole is represented by K2, and so on. We represent all the multipoles in the same trend. So the first term can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into K0. This whole term is called as K0 into K0 divided by capital R. So first term will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K0 divided by capital R. Second term will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into K1. So that is the dipole, K1 divided by R square. Then third term you will get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into K2 divided by R cube, and so on you will get the further expressions for the multiples. Now this whole expression of potential. This whole expansion of potential, it can be written in the form of a summation. So the 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, it is constant, so it is written as it is. Now we can write this k0 divided by capital R, k1 divided by capital R square, k2 divided by capital R cube. These all terms can be clubbed in the form of a summation, and summation will be taken over k p minus 1 divided by R power p. Now p will take values from 1 to infinity because there are infinite number of terms that are possible in this case. So the first term over here, for the first term p will be equal to 1. So now when you will put p is equal to 1, you will get k1 minus 1. So that will be equal to 0. Divide by R power p. Now for the first term p is equal to 1. So you will get k0 divide by capital R. So you will get the first term. Then for the second term p will be equal to 2. So this numerator will be equal to k2 minus 1, that will be equal to k1 divided by R square. So you will get k1 divided by R square. So this is how we write the potential due to an arbitrary distribution of charge at any observation point. So this is the final expression of potential. Now this capital R, we have already seen that it is constant. Now k0 is the integration of volume integration of rho into dV, and this is nothing but the total charge, or you can say the net charge on the distribution. Now k1 is the dipole, and it is given by integration of volume integration of rho into r cos theta into dV. So this is the dipole. Then we have k2, that is given by volume integration of rho into r square into 3 cos square theta minus 1 divided by 2 into dV. Now let's say if the total charge on the distribution is 0. If the total charge on a particular distribution is 0, in that case monopole will be equal to 0. Now let's say if there are equal number of positive and negative charges in a particular distribution. So in that case total charge, net amount of charge will come out to be equal to 0, means for that particular distribution of charge monopole will be equal to 0, and this is possible only when the total charge, that is there are equal number of positive and negative charges on that particular system. So for that k0, that is monopole will be equal to 0, and there are chances that there would be dipole for that particular system. So if the total charge on a system is 0, means monopole is 0. So then we look for a dipole, that is if there is dipole for that particular distribution of charge. So if dipole comes out to be non-zero, so if dipole comes out to be non-zero, we say that the system behaves as a dipole. So if this particular expression for a particular distribution of charge, it comes out to be non-zero, it means that that particular distribution is behaving as a dipole. But if this k1, it comes out to be equal to 0. So if k0 is equal to 0 as well as k1 is equal to 0 for a particular distribution of charge, then we evaluate k2. Now if k2 comes out to be non-zero, that means that that particular charge distribution is behaving as a quadrupole. Similarly, if quadrupole also comes out to be equal to 0 for a particular distribution of charge, then we look out for k3. And similarly, if k3 comes out to be 0, then we look out for k4. And so on, we find out how the distribution of a charge is behaving. If that distribution of charge is behaving as a monopole, if that distribution of charge is behaving as a dipole, quadrupole, and so on. So these expressions help us in finding the nature of the distribution of